Great call. Two play fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Touchdown. Great play.
That's a way. Trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down. He scored.
From behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. Philadelphia, they won't get him. Wow. Edwards pulls up and buries a flag. Shot for Derby!
Forks up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps. What is going on? I am Michael Caratanudo at Diablos00 on X, as you know, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. You guys know it. You love it. Check the show live out there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, my IG, michael.caratanudo.5. Yes, as you guys know. And also, don't forget, as you can check it out on the YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Again, you have missed a ton when it comes to conf reviews, coaches, players, alum, insiders, everybody. Yeah, I have it here for you on Pitchfork Lunch, as you know. So yes, go to the YouTube channel and watch live or subscribe. But go to the channel. It's at, you see my name, Michael Caratanudo, but it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, 005, like Big 12 champs, theme around here, huh? Anyway, on YouTube, and subscribe away. Again, it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe away. Also, you guys know that if you have to, run around, or you're going to meet people for lunch, or, getting your maybe meeting them for early sodas on Thursday. No judgment here. We love it. It's all about good vibes here on Pitchfork Lunch, Forks Up. But yeah, you can listen on the greatest internet radio station on the web, the Casual Sports Radio Network. Again, just go to www.ksrnaz.com. Page will open up, hit play or hit listen live, click play, bam, there's Pitchfork Lunch, Monday through Friday, Casual E. Like I've told you guys, he invited us in, get more Sun Devil content going all over the web. So I am extremely grateful to Casual E for that as we roll on here. As we roll on. And yeah, I mean, again, I want you to watch, but don't watch and drive. Like I always tell you, your Sun Devils are smarter. Pay attention to the road, get to where you're going, and stream it through your Bluetooth. Again, just go to www.ksrnaz.com, click listen live. And then, yeah, all you got to do is hit play, and that is that. and there's Pitchfork Lunch. So you're driving around, and then when you get there, you can still listen on your phone, or again, pop it up. However you like to do it, we love it here on Pitchfork Lunch. So yes, and plus you need to follow, like I've reminded you guys, Casual E has you hooked up when it comes to the Suns, the Diamondbacks going for the sweep in the Bronx against the Yankees. Casual E's got you covered. So again, Suns, Diamondbacks, Mercury, Cardinals draft 3 weeks from today. Finally, we can stop hearing all this madness and see where Cam Scattaboo and Shamari Simmons and Lee Fontanu and others end up, because, I think they definitely have a good shot of very good shot of being drafted, but we'll get into that. But I'm just saying Casual E has you covered when it comes to the Cardinals and the Liars poker that's going on now. So again, go to www.ksrnaz.com. Again, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1, click listen live, hit play. Here we are on Pitchfork Lunch, rolling through Sun Devil Nation, and me giving you the goods you got. So yes. Well, hey, guys, let's hit it. Softball last night. I mean, you have got to be the Devils saw a pitcher that they are very familiar with, and that was Ruby Malin, who, yes, a lot of you Pac-12ers will know that she was at UW. And then, yes, there are quite a few chancers. You talked to Riley Holtorf, who's in Florida, played that on the show, even though, like I know, she's not a Sun Devil, but played that on the show, covered her in high school. So, every now and then we can improvise script a little bit and get guests on that were, she was in the Pac-12, but nonetheless, anyway, but Ruby Malin pitched for Oklahoma State last night, and guys, man, it was and Kenzie Brown, another 9 strikeout game. I mean, and she gave up just the one run. She gave up one run, but I mean, she walked a few, but 9 Ks. And man, her battle, her command of her pitches, guys, if you have not seen, you are missing out. And we'll hear from Coach Bartlett very shortly on that game again. And they fell to Oklahoma State. It was 4-0. It's not a conference game, which doesn't make losing any better. You guys know I'm a Sun Devil. I don't go to the school down south, so I'm not, making an excuse for it. It doesn't make it any better. But yes, they don't play Oklahoma State in conference this year, but they could see them again down the road. So, but yeah, I mean, Ruby Malin was exactly like she was at UW, guys. But Kenzie Brown, I mean, and I asked Coach Gray, and you'll hear it, because I asked her again, it's not that she didn't have, she had, her stuff was working, but she battled through a tough lineup, and I guess we saw it against Arizona in two games. We saw it again, obviously Oklahoma State, and just tough lineups. And man, when she locks in and she's got that grit, like Kenzie Brown, absolutely in fuego. 9 strikeouts last night. I mean, Malin had, again, I'm not going to say only, because she pitched a hell of a game. She put the ball where she wanted to and forced the Devils to, Coach Bartlett talk about it, chase a little bit, guys. But man, this softball team, like I said, it's in the right direction. It is young. Some of the youngsters, I think, got a little impatient hitting, maybe, but they were able to get some runners. They just could never fully solve the jigsaw puzzle that was getting a runner across on Ruby Malin, and Oklahoma State ends up winning 4-0. Guys, baseball, it is hate week. That team from down south will be here at Muni all weekend. Guys, there is no need not to show up. It is at 6:30 Friday, 6:30 Saturday, and then 5 on Sunday. So a little twilight game instead of like a noon or 1 o'clock game, because obviously their traveling distance isn't that bad going back to Tucson. Get on out there, guys. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. You guys know, it's huge, how huge it is. And that is again going to be electric. Electric is an understatement. If you know anything about the baseball history or obviously the rivalry between these two schools. It is going to be electric. We need to be loud. We need to not let, again, fans from that team down south overtake Muni whatsoever at all. At all. So that is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Because again, 2 ranked teams now, and we heard what Coach Bloomquist played for you yesterday, what he said about that. So yeah, big week, big weekend, and yeah, it's let's win a series, man. You swept the last one. They've won. You know, you swept Utah. You took 2 out of 3 from Kansas opening. So, you know, let's keep it rolling. Let's keep it rolling. And especially, I'm sure you guys can tell just a little bit, and I get a little bit passionate about this, but that team down south, get to Muni, get loud, let's have some fun, and absolutely rock it. So, and then football, spring practice, guys, this defense, we're going to hear from, actually caught up with Coach Iguano and Coach Mons after practice, and Xavier Alford. So we'll hear from him. We'll hear from them. But yeah, spring ball. Oh man, it's not like you hear Coach Dillingham say, not like fake energy. This is the energy, the pads are on. You'll hear from the guys. Guys, I'm going to say this. We had Coach Ward on talking about depth and installing the why. He said, I was worried about lining up. The depth that we were talking about at practice today, I'm just in general talking about. I was talking about with Chris Cartman, friend of the program, you know, the publisher of 24/7 or publisher of Sun Devil Source for 24/7 Sports. It is absolutely insane. The secondary depth, which was there last year, and Pitchfork Ledgers, we talked about it. I don't need to go down the whole rabbit hole. It was there. This year, it has just grown so much. I mean, again, you think of you have your 2 corners back, you know, Keith Abney and Javen Robinson. Then at safety, you have the aforementioned Xavier Alford and Miles Ghost Rouser at safety. Montana Warren's been kind of at that nickel spot, but Chris Johnson, Coach Ward mentioned it when he was on the show, moving back to safety. You know, he's at safety. Guys have just stepped up, and the depth, and I'll get more and more into it, but I'm just saying, like, oh, it is exciting. And then linebackers and the DBs battled a little bit today. I'm going to try and show you that. I asked Coach Iguano about it, as you guys know. But anyway, so yeah, just again, ton of excitement. Oh, by the way, not going to get out of the opening statement. Forks up to, again, Graham Rossini and the administration. JJ Van Neal, women's volleyball coach, who, you know, obviously reigning Big 12 champs, # our state. Thank you for that. JJ Van Neal got extended through 2029. And you talk about building a culture, building a program. Obviously, he can do that, and he brings in the right players, but building it up. So JJ Van Neal, forks up to you, Coach, and obviously getting extended. But yeah, so excited through 2029. And Graham Rossini, he talked about it after Molly Miller. I played that for you. Like, he talks about, you know, it being a family, building up, you know, getting the coaches in, but the student athletes, and again, leading to their success, but the team success, everything. So the reigning Big 12 champs in women's volleyball, Coach Van Neal, absolutely awesome. Very stoked. So yes, but on that note, we are going to take a quick break, and we get back. We're going to hear from Coach Bartlett about, obviously, last night's, again, tough game, but again, it's these youngsters, man. It is trial by fire. So we'll step aside, and we shall have more Pitchfork Lunch coming right up.
KSRN has an inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean McConnell.
Bird Gang. I know it was another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
Together. We're playing.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending a message out to the world.
Always relaying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSR and Casual Sports Radio Network.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org. This is the sound of a...
Got a big painting project you've been putting off because you don't think you can afford it? Well, it's time to call the team at Customer First Solutions. Customer First is your one-stop shop for all home repairs, from full interior and exterior painting to handyman services, drywall repair, electrical, and plumbing. Customer First has the most competitive prices in the Valley. Your flat rate quote is based on the square footage of your home, and that includes wall repair. All Customer First technicians are licensed, bonded, and fully background checked for your assurance. Call or text Customer First Solutions at 480-877-0255 for your free quote. Customer First Solutions, where our customers and their homes are our first priority.
KSRN has an inside track on all things sports, with topics and opinions from former players and local personalities. Catch 15-year NFL veteran Ed Smith and Jay Adams on Easy Sports Talk every Saturday.
Unfortunately, with this back and these knees, I don't quite have that ability, or at least I use.
For all things Arizona Cardinals, tune in Monday nights with Casual E and Sean McConnell.
Bird Gang. I know it was another tough loss, but keep encouraged. We miss you, BA.
And now you can exclusively listen to former Arizona Cardinal Jeremy Bridges on his show, JB and Benny Blue Review.
Exactly.
Don't be dumb.
Sending a message out to the world.
Always relaying that message. Don't be dumb.
Yes, your guy, Benny Blue, comedian extraordinaire.
Exclusively on KSR and Casual Sports Radio Network.
You are listening to the best internet radio station on the web, KSRN, Arizona.
Yes, you guys are listening to the best internet radio station on the web. I am Michael Carrasino at Diablo00 on X, artist formerly known as Twitter. Check out Pitchfork Luncher every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, my IG, Michael.Carrasino.5, as you know, and the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, you can watch live, but also subscribe as well. It's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, and subscribe away. And also, again, www.ksrnaz.com. Again, page will open up. Hit listen live, click play. There's Pitchfork Lunch Monday through Friday because Casual E wanted to bring Sun Devil content to you amongst the phenomenal content that he has with the Suns, Diamondbacks, Mercury, and Cardinals. We are there. So anyway, we're gonna get to it. So yeah, last night, like I said, quite a few of you may have seen the updates from Farrington Stadium, Club Farrington. They took on number 18 Oklahoma State. It was 4-0. But like I said, Kenzie Brown pitched 4 innings. I mean, her pitch count was getting up there. Coach took her out. It's a 1-0 game. But, yeah, check this out. 4 innings pitched. She had 3 hits, 1 run. It was earned a home run to the 9-hole hitter. Who, again, tough lineup up and down. You might not think it would happen, but, yeah. So, but 3 hits, 1 run, or 9 Ks, like I told you guys, to just 2 walks. And she threw 82 total pitches. I want to say 59 were strikes. But yeah, then Mika Lupi came in. She pitched 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs. None of them were earned, but it was she had 1 strikeout, 1 walk. And then Julianne Tipton came in, gave up 1 hit, 1 run. It was earned. She threw 11 pitches. So Coach talking about how they're going to need Brown for the weekend, which we'll hear from. But yeah, I mean, Kenzie Brown just crushing it. Ruby Malin, again. You guys, Pac-12, you guys know her from up at UW, transferred to Oklahoma State, but 7 innings pitched, complete game. She gave up 4 hits, no runs, 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, through 81, though, total pitches. She got out of 1 inning, though, and I know you could see the little bit of fluster, I should say, on Coach Bartlett's face, because there was an inning where Ruby Malin literally threw 8 pitches. So, nonetheless, but let's hear from Coach Bartlett. Again, after last night's game. But again, this Sun Devil team, guys, is 24-13. You're liking that. 6-6 in conference play. All right. You don't want to go below 500. I know it sounds overstating the obvious, but still 6-6 in conference. They've lost 2 in a row now. They dropped the last one to Iowa State, then Oklahoma State, but 19-9 at home. You're liking that. 5-4 on the road. So, yes, things are there, a young team, but still, it doesn't matter. They got to, like Coach always says, they got to learn, I'm sure, and you'll hear it in this again too. But anyway, so hell of a game last night. But, yes, let's hear from Coach Bartlett about the performance of, obviously, Kenzie Brown, her team facing Oklahoma State and heading into Kansas this weekend.
Coach, other than that 1 solo home run given up by Brown, she was dealing in 4 innings pitched. She had 9 strikeouts. She was 1 away from her 7th double-digit strikeout of the year. What went into the decision to pull her in the 4th inning, which is kind of earlier than usual?
Well, we're going to need her certainly on Friday. And the reality is offensively, we were just really having trouble getting anything going. So to continue to kind of, pound on her arm when we didn't have a ton of offensive momentum for us just didn't make sense, right? Mika and Julianne are very good at what they do, and it's a good experience for them. That's a good ball club, possibly a World Series team for many years in a row. So just spread the workload around.
Then to piggyback off that, I mean, it seemed like she obviously had good stuff, just had to grind through another tough lineup. What do you just see from her in moments like that? I mean, I know we've talked about before, like runners on base and she strikes them out, but I mean, she literally, another tough lineup and it's just grinding her way through it.
Yeah, she's a warrior. She really is. I just cannot say enough good things about Mackenzie Brown. She's got a lot of different ways to beat you, tools to beat you. She's going to keep you off balance. The changeup was gorgeous tonight. We will get it going behind her, certainly. It's a young ball club, and we've hit a little bit of a valley, but they'll snap out of it.
And then, from obviously seeing Ruby Malin again, I know she's a very tough pitcher to face.
She's very good.
Anything that, you just noticed about how, because you guys, seemed very aggressive, and I know you've said before, hitting balls, it was just right to a fielder. It was a good shot, but right to a fielder. What did you see from her and just how your offense handled it?
Honestly, I just didn't love our pitch selection. That's somewhere between 68 to 70 and down and hard, and she locates corners well, and I just felt like we were just chasing things below the strike zone, right? Which is why there were so many ground balls tonight, which was certainly not the game plan. But they're young. They're learning all their lessons the hard way. But yeah, Ruby Malin's a wonderful pitcher, right? Certainly a World Series quality pitcher. So all we can do is learn from it, get better.
Mika had a bit of an unfortunate 5th inning, 2 unearned runs, a lot of balls in the infield. Did you give her any words of encouragement before she went back out there in the 6th and dealt a bit better?
Yeah, you know what? Oh my gosh, it's so hard. Just back to decision making, speed of the game. I think got away from the defense a little bit. Having a on the base when they give us a lead out on a bunt. It's extremely frustrating. we love our pitching staff, and they continue to grind and work so hard for us. And we just have to continue to stay with the pace of the game, right? We were prepared for that. I mean, Coach Gajewski does a really nice job running a really complex offense, and it's hard to defend against. It is. They have a lot of kids that can run. They've got great touch on the bunt. They squeeze. They steal third. They steal second. Then, if you start to give them a little bit of air and they feel like they have momentum, he'll turn that into a track meet. He will turn the game into a track meet, and then I hate it when I'm right. So again, I just think the youth snuck up on us a little bit. So I just got to continue to learn.
And also on the opposite end, the Oklahoma State pitcher, Milan, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, she only had 3 strikeouts in a complete game, so your offense was getting good contact. What positives can you take away from that, and what's your message to the team heading into the Kansas series?
Yeah, again, she is a World Series quality arm. That's why he wanted her so bad. So certainly we spend a lot of time on hittability and just how we train our hitters, and it's certainly there were some bright spots there. There just wasn't enough. We didn't string enough together to come up with any real momentum. She did a really nice job tonight. She got us, so hopefully we get her twice next year. Yeah.
Hey, Coach, you're about halfway through the Big 12 conference schedule now. How important is it to flush this one out and kind of get ready for the weekend?
Yeah, extremely important. Because the reality is, well, that's a quality opponent. For us, that's a non-con right now. So headed back into Kansas this weekend, we'll get them refocused, get them prepped tomorrow. They need to find some fight. They need to find their guts. That's the reason they came here. It wasn't to, roll the bottom half of the RPI. Those kids came here to play in a World Series, and they wanted a big moment, a big stage, and 2,000 people in the stands every weekend, and that's what they're getting. So now it's just time to put our money where our mouth is and perform better.
Well, you heard Coach right there again. I mean, and like she said, offensively, I mean, it makes sense to obviously take a pitcher out if you feel that. I mean, yeah, she's crushing it through the lineup, but at the same time, she's, I hate saying not getting the run support. Like I said, they were making contact, trying to land the question soft, but yeah, there was some, like I said, Malin had an 8-pitch inning. That is not good offense, as we all know. That could not be construed as good offense, because again, at least make her throw a few more pitches, see more. But at the same time, but yeah, for Kenzie Brown, like I said, I mean, just a warrior. And that's why I said, I mean, it wasn't like, she was getting roughed up and didn't have her stuff and the offense wasn't clicking. I mean, again, you get 9 strikeouts on that team, and yeah, a few walks, but you get 9 strikeouts and you give up the 1 run. Again, it was a home run. It was a solo shot. But yeah, I mean, what Coach Bartlett was saying there, I mean, when coaches always say, yeah, they're learning the hard way. And yes, you can coach and tell, and there's some things that are going to happen, and they're going to swing at something and be like, oh yeah, we talked about that. Right. So, but yeah, love again, the attack of this team, the grit, like I said, and just they get out to a lead, and they showed against Iowa State, guys. I talked about it. I was watching, they put up 18 runs in that second game of the doubleheader. They lost 4-3, come back and win 18-4. And then, what was it? Was it 18-4? I can tell you 18-4. Yeah, in 5 innings. That's what I was forgetting. I thought it was 18-4 in 5 innings. And then they lose again 4-3 in the series closer. And yeah, I mean, it's things about, attack, the balance of attacking and being patient. Yes, they are contradictory. It's like, well, which one do you want a hitter to be? Well, you need to be all of it, right, at this level, and as you go up higher. No, but again, you can see it. And I mean, even hitters like Tanya Wendell and Kelsey Hall, experience, and Yaya Acuna. I mean, her being in center field, I mean, she laid down such a beautiful bunt last night. And talking about bunts, I mean, coach talking about bunts, but beat it out for a hit. Like, again, pieces are there, but yes, it needs to come together consistently, and that is from that's from that. So, nonetheless, but again, so stoked with where this team. Again, you want to see. Yes, you want to win. First and foremost, is what do we always talk about? Comes down to winning, right? You want to see wins, but the compete in it, the hanging in, the not getting, if it's not going their way, then they're just going to get blown out, run ruled, whatever. No, it's that competition and grind. So that is the great part. But yeah, turning into wins, and let's see, again, Kansas, talk a little more tomorrow, as we'll obviously talk more baseball tomorrow as well too, is that team from down south is up here. And yes, guys, it is just like it was for softball. We want big crowds. We want ASU crowds. We want to get on the Wildcats and enjoy this ranked matchup. But that is one thing that Coach has talked about right there, about the whole the attendance, and it's definitely been there at Club Farrington, to say the least. So again, stoked about that. But let's get to Coach Aguano. We're going to shift gears here, right? Shift gears. Football practice today. Like I said, linebackers and running backs in a drill. If you follow me at Diablo00 on X, you will see it. You don't see him doing it a ton too often, just in individuals. But it was pretty awesome. But yeah, I caught up with Coach Aguano, because again, another running back room that, we talk about Kyson Brown, SIP as they call him. But Kanye Udo, who transferred from Army. You have, Alto McCaskill, who is back from last year. Jason Brown Jr., who is back from last year. Demarius Robinson, another addition to the room. It is, again, I know I start talking about rooms, and you guys are all saying, probably keep saying, God, he keeps saying deep, the whole team deep. Again, yes, I'm talking about depth that can come in there and start. There are younger guys, and you see the depth, you see the talent, which is awesome. And again, spring ball, start to get it familiar with play calling and everything. So yes, but anyway, let's get to Coach Aguano, talk a little running backs with him, and what he thinks, obviously, moving Cam Scattaboo and whoever gets him. So here is Coach Aguano from just after practice today.
Fine practicing, but I got asked about the fun part today, going one-on-one with the linebackers. You and Coach Coop getting a little heated in competition there. But obviously it's a key part of the game. But just what do you think of, your backs, how they're developing? Obviously running the ball, but blocking, picking everything up.
They're physical. Now we just got to make sure they're staying in and out, they're striking, they're sitting, all the fundamental stuff. Especially for the new guys coming in that haven't been through this teaching process. But I like their physicality. Sometimes we reach too much, sometimes our head's down, and so it's just day by day getting better and better, but at least they'll stick their nose in it.
Well, one thing you've obviously developed here, and we all know, is a deep room. And I say that because last year, obviously coming into the spring and then fall, and even the season, the linebackers, you guys knew what you had in the building, but were kind of the question. So now a lot of those guys are vets. What do you think of? How do you think they've developed and obviously helped your running backs?
Coach Coop does a heck of a job, and they're a great group. Whether it be pass pro against them or pass routes against them, they're a nucleus of our team, and we got to get better in our room, and so it's incredible to go against them day in and day out.
And then speaking of your room, obviously the competition part, like I said, having a deep room, and you're no stranger to it, and I know I've asked you in the past, can less be more? And everybody wants a bell cow, but if everybody's getting the rock equally, how have these guys, especially with Sip coming back, but how has he helped the new guys in the room? And how do you just feel that they're competing, but they're supporting each other?
Absolutely, and he's going to lead the leadership because he's the guys that have played a lot. He's done a great job, just an incredible kid. But the competition is high in that level, and they feel it, and I want them to feel it. And they're coming out and practicing hard. We'll see when it gets after fall camp where we're at. But right now, I love the room, and all 6 of those guys in the room are battling day in and day out. So we'll see how that plays out.
And then, like you and obviously Coach Dillingham said, but all you coaches have said, looking for the right guys in the portal. Somebody like Kanye coming from Army, and people, I was kidding with Coach Trutelli saying, I'm sure you had a little bit to get him over having that experience. But just a discipline. But what have you seen from him so far? Obviously, mixing in the room, but also starting to pick up the offense more.
I love his maturity. I love the way he goes about his business as a professional. I love his body lean and running hard, and that's what we need in that room. And so I'm excited about to see his growth. and Armin has done a great job with him, and now he's in a little different offense, and so the diversity a little bit is different, and so he has to learn that part, catching the ball out of the backfield, but he's progressing daily, and I'm happy with his progress.
And that's one thing I've never really asked you. I mean, obviously, transfer portal being a huge thing, but when guys are coming in, obviously that talented, but learning a new offense, what's the challenge in keeping them patient? Because they're competitors. They just, you would get out there, nobody gets it right the first time, but they want to get it right. What's the challenge in that, especially with, now the second year working with Coach Arroyo in the offense?
I think it's a learning process, and for me as a teacher, making sure that they understand that they're comfortable to make mistakes, and then that's how they learn. I won't back down on the effort and that stuff, and I'll get on them, but it's a learning process every day, and they got to fail in order to succeed. And so as soon as he fails, goes and watches films, doesn't make that same mistake, and I've seen that happen, so we know we're progressing, and he's going to be a true asset to this team.
And then lastly, obviously, Cam, going through the whole draft process, and I've always called, a lot of people have called it, liar's poker here and then, and, you hear things about guys getting drafted, but it's like everything you see written about Cam, and obviously, I know you guys got his back, but because he did it on the field, but what would you say to a team that's, maybe thinking of drafting him and maybe thinking, if they'd be okay if they skip on him?
And, I like the way it's kind of turning out, and he's going to be the underdog again, like he's always been in his life, and he's going to prove everybody wrong. We know that, and people out there kind of figuring that out, and so the team that gets him will get that guy that's going to be highly productive, coming from that underdog, and that's the way he needs to live his life, and he has that edge, and I'm excited for him.
Coach, I know I obviously talked at the end of the season, you said, we'll see what the tight end room is. Man, obviously they came in with expectations, but a big, deep room. How do you feel the guys have kind of gelled so far?
Yeah, I feel like it really is a very talented room. I think the thing I'm most proud of is how they're working right now. They're blue collar, they show up every day. They're spending time on their own, watching film, getting together and walking through. And the competitiveness in our room right now is at an all-time high. It's just they're pushing each other. I think the floor has come way up, and I think the ceiling is starting to rise because those guys, you can't show up and go through the motions. We've got multiple guys. I feel like right now 4 guys in that room that can all play at a very high level, and a 5th guy that does everything right and is getting better every day too. So I'm really excited about it. Obviously, infusing Kamari and AJ into the room was a huge talent infusion. Kamari, I think, is really surprising a lot of people because he's physical. He strikes people line of scrimmage, and he's obviously an explosive player. And he hit 20.5 miles an hour in game, in practice on a catch on Tuesday, and probably hit close to 20 again today on a big explosive play. And AJ gets better every day. That's the thing I've been proud of with him is, for as big as he is, he runs really well, and he's really natural running routes and catching balls. Playing in the core, putting his hand down, fitting people up is a little bit unnatural to him, but he's working his tail off and he's getting better every day. And he got some reps with the ones today, having to block the real big guys, the real dudes up front, and he held his own. So we're just going to keep pushing him and just keep working. And at the end of the day, should be able to play a lot of those guys. Should be able to stay fresh, not have to have one guy take 70 snaps, which that's not good for anybody. So happy with where we're going. We got a lot of work to do, but I feel confident with the direction we're headed.
And I asked Coach Aguano this kind of same question, obviously having sit back in the room, and the day and age of the portal, bringing players in like you said, but having Shimon back, and obviously with what he did last year, again, Coach Arroyo, you guys running the same offense, how big has Shimon just been for the room and driving, what they need to do, but driving competition
100%.
as well?
Shimon's unbelievable. I think that was the biggest challenge for him this year, was coming back and stepping up as a leader. It's like telling him, we know what he's capable of doing on the field. Obviously, there's things that he can continue to grow and improve on, but for him taking a step as a leader, and I think that's why these other guys are having the success they're having early in spring. It's a big testament to Shimon and who he is as kind of the face of our tight end room, and a returning all-conference player. And that's what I talk about with my guys all the time, is Shimon was an all-conference player because he had 700 yards receiving. He was a receiving threat. He made a lot of big plays for us, but it was more about what he did as a complete tight end, what he did in the run game and pass protection, blocking on the perimeter, and that's our identity. Our identity is physicality, it's striking, it's finishing, and so having Shimon back, and then having him have the demeanor he has, the personality he has, he's an infectious personality, and the guys have felt welcomed and felt comfortable, and he works with them. He doesn't feel threatened by guys, and he's embraced competition. It's made him better, and he's made those guys better.
And then once I know obviously spring ball, fall camp, once you kind of get out of, shorts and, just t-shirts, but the first few days of the pads, obviously the defense wanting to set the tempo, how do you feel the offense has responded?
Yeah, it's I think, like Coach Dillingham says all the time, when it's back and forth like that, that's a sign of a good team. If it's dominated by one side or the other, you walk away and you go, I'm glad our side of the ball dominated, but we might be in trouble. And it's not been that way. It's been back and forth. Defense working on new things and new techniques, and it's like a little chess match. All of a sudden they come out, and we got them one day on the technique we're using. They came out and they countered it, and then we have to watch it on film and get back and adjust to that. And so I think it's just that level of competition between the both sides. It's just we're making each other better. You say iron sharpens iron. I feel like that's through 5 practices right now. I feel like that's what's happening.
And then from the receiving point with the tight ends, I mean, obviously Sam coming back and off the season he had, but how do you feel that they're kind of getting well, I mean, obviously Shaman is comfortable with him, but more used to him, and he's adjusting to the tight ends?
Yeah, I think it's just reps, it's just snaps. It's you can't get enough routes on air. You can't get enough 7-on-7. You can't we'll get into the summertime and they'll do the player run practices and catch balls. And the more that you do that, the better they get with timing. And it's like Harpole. Cameron Harpole has had a great spring so far, and I think his timing and his cohesion right now with Sam, I think, shows, and Kamari's starting to build that. Shaman has that already. So, and I talked to my guys in the practice today. Right now, we're not scripting plays to get players touches. So for us as a tight end, we're asked to do so many different things. I just said, man, just be the best version of yourself on every snap, and show that you're capable of being a complete tight end, and that's what will ultimately get it to where Coach Arroyo has a section of the script that has a plan for getting you the ball. So that's our focus right now, and just building chemistry as a team, as a tight end unit, as an offensive unit. So we're in the early stages, but I think there's a lot of positive signs right now.
And the lighter one, has Clayton stopped bugging you to come over to offense and play tight end?
He still mentions it every once in a while, but we get into inside run and we start talking smack a little bit, so I make sure I get on him. And I think we're kind of backing him into the defensive corner a little bit, so he's not asking to be on our side so much. He doesn't want to feel like a traitor, but super dynamic guy. I mean, his high school receiver highlight film is stupid, and I know his high school coach really well. It's kind of how we got in the door on him, and I'd take him in a heartbeat, but I think he's too damn good doing what he's doing right now.
Together and playing together on the field. So.
Right. What are your thoughts on the young guys like Ronnie Bibbage stepping up big time this spring? What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I mean, we always knew Rodney could do it. That's why he's here. He had it in him. But just to see, how invested he is, and to see, it's good for them to see, just to kind of be a young guy on a good team, because you got to get to go through it and see how, we go about the process each and every day. So you could tell that he's definitely took some of that, and now he's definitely maturing. He's serious about the process. He's just growing up. He's really focused on football. He's making a lot of plays. He's popping. So it's just been good to see, all those young guys, just come along, keep coming along.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
Yep, no problem.
And then, X, to piggyback off that, I mean, coming along, I mean, last year we talked about the depth you have, and I mean, I know it's only 4 or 5 practices and you guys are in pads, but man, I mean, how scary can this defense be? Because I mean, the guys coming in depth, like you said, you're always coaching each other up, but those guys maybe that were down on the depth chart, they're right there now.
Yep. No, I think that's good because we pride ourselves on competing on defense, playing hard, playing to the whistle, and they want us to sell out. They feel like you can sell out for 4 plays and then we can get somebody else in. That's the best thing that we can do. But I just feel like, especially getting all the guys back, having guys that kind of set the standard, and then raising that standard, from last year, and then having the young guys just follow in. I think it's just good. And as a defense right now, I think we're doing some things really well. We're more advanced, so we're able to build off of kind of where we left off in the season. But I think we still have a long ways to go to where we want to be. And I think we can do it.
And then another year, obviously, with Coach Ward. And I mean, you understand what he wants to get done calling. And I know I've said it to Coach Ward before. I know it's never easy to call defense, but with your experience out there, with guys like you out there, how much more in sync do you feel with Coach Ward? And I mean, do you think you guys have made it maybe a little easier for him to call the defense?
Yeah, I think you do because for one, he coaches us as safeties. We're in his room. He knows us like the back of his hand, so we know the way that he approaches the game each and every day, the process, he's very serious, very detailed. He gives us all the key. He gives us the keys to the car, and then he just expects us to drive, But I think it definitely helps us because we know him. He knows us. He knows what we're comfortable doing. He knows that, okay, I can make this call. He can really, especially when it comes to safeties, I can really worry about calling the defense because I know I've trained those guys and prepared those guys enough that, they're going to do what I ask and execute what I ask. So I think, it just helps with the whole defense having experienced guys, going back to games, thinking back in the past, in this game where I called this and we executed, this game where I called this, maybe we weren't able to execute. So just knowing and going through those growing pains with each other, I think, it's going to allow us to, make great strides this year.
And with making great strides, lastly, obviously playing next to Miles last year, it was new.
Yep.
But now with that whole season, how do you guys feel that you have a, grasp of what each other needs to do and wants to do?
Yep. We both kind of know each other. That's like my brother, obviously. All the guys in the secondary, like I said, we pride ourselves on really communicating and really, learning, trying to play together, because like I said, DB is a very difficult job. You can't, even though you're out there covering by yourself, sometimes corner might get beat, I might have his back, or sometimes, I might not get the call, the corner relays the call to me. So, we all just working together so we can make sure that we're successful on each and every play. And I think, with just me knowing Miles, especially with the run game, safeties, we're big in the run game. So being able to communicate and us stopping coming in the run game, being, defending deep passes and passes as well, able to communicate, get right on the same page. I think, from a back end, from just a whole defense having a return, but from a back end standpoint, knowing that you have guys that's done it before, I think is really good. So.
And then I was kidding around with Montana. 3 years, 3 numbers, but I said, I know you got to play within yourself, but you took Shamari's number.
Yeah,
I'm sure Shamari told you, and I go, X probably reminded you that comes with laying some big hits.
Yeah.
So did you guys have that conversation?
Yeah, definitely. Shamari passed it down to him. That's like kind of like our little brother. Shamari was the first one to leave. If I would have left, I probably would have gave it to him first, but he was the first one to leave. So that's kind of what we're trying to start here. Like Shamari, he was going on to the NFL now. Us as DBs, he played at a high level. We just want to let people know that high level DBs can come here from ASU. So 7 is the first number, and hopefully I can pass 2 down, and somebody else, and those can pass 4 down, and we can just keep it going. But we definitely want to let people know around the country that Arizona State definitely has a defensive backfield.
Well, Pitchfork Lunchers, you heard it right there. Xavier Alford, not kidding around, because, like I said, he went through those names in the depth. And like I said, Montana Warren playing at the nickel, talked to Coach Ward about that as well. So, you guys see it, and it's one of those things where, man, like, and I say, like, laying the big hits, like I said to Coach Ward, like we heard Montana say here, I talked to him after practice last week on the show, but you can't, like you're saying, the comfort and again, understanding a defensive coordinator and playing next to somebody like, Miles as X is, it's like I said, the depth is absolutely insane, my friends. So I hear Coach Bond's there too, the tight end room. Like you're saying, 4 guys and a 5th that's doing things. And Shimon Mate are leading it, but man, Kamari Anderson, this young man, he's got up to 20 miles an hour. He's it is just a 245-pound athlete. That is like a that is literally like trying to run through a brick wall, but having I would say a few bowling balls chucked at you, or even, the locomotive moniker might be passed down. We shall see. It's going to be tough to earn that, but and you Pitchfork Lunchers know, because Cam Scatterby, again, he was a Sun Devil locomotive to me the last 2 years. It's very, very awesome. So, but yeah, and then, Coach Bonds, like I said, with the tight ends like that. And then like Coach Iguano, again, Kanye Udoa, who's, like I said, from Army. You have Kyson Brown. You have Sick back. You have Jason Brown Jr. back. It's a younger guy. Alto McCaskill back in the room. Demarius Robinson, another running back that, it's just, whew. And yeah, it was awesome to see them banging with the linebackers. I will say that. But yeah, like you hear that from Coach Mons and Coach Iguano. It's just, it's spring, but it is back and forth. We heard that from Coach Mons. Like the defense, I mean, speaking of Clayton Smith, he had some moves today in practice, guys. I mean, just when they're going, O versus D, one's taking on ones, twos, whatever. But he had back-to-back plays where, yeah, they were definitely sacks. So again, it's one of those things. Quick update before we get out of here. Lacrosse, I know I mentioned it Monday, but they are taking on 7th ranked Maryland right now. And with, 112. Let's see if it's tied up at 8. Let's see. Yeah. So with 112 left in the second period, ASU is tied with the 7th ranked team in the country. It would be their first ranked win against a ranked team at home. I want to say since 2021, 2019. I'll look it up, but nonetheless, they are tied up at 8 right now at the Sun Devil Soccer Lacrosse Stadium. So that is started at noon, and yes, we are just about to halftime, and they are all knotted up at 8. So yeah, very, very awesome there, Coach. Doing a phenomenal job. As like I said, I mean, lacrosse, yes, it is a huge Eastern Seaboard sport. It came out west, and there's teams that are good, but you look at it, and it's Coach Taryn Van Thoff Pools. But yeah, I mean, just absolutely awesome. So, but yeah, they are all tied up with Maryland at 8. Like I said, that is the last update I will be giving you there. But baseball, again, guys, hate week, and we will hammer it tomorrow. But they are taking on Arizona. Yes. 6:30. Yes, 6:30 tomorrow night, 6:30 Saturday, and 5 o'clock on Sunday. Phoenix Muni, get on out there. Do not let those people from down south overtake the stadium. So, that being said, we're going to get out of here. What else was I going to remind you of? I've already talked about Coach Van Neal's extension. Obviously, Forks Up. We're very stoked about that. Again, Graham Rossini and the administration extending Coach Van Neal. He wants to be here. Again, back-to-back tournament appearances, Sweet 16 last season, round of 32, but they hosted this year. So yeah, it is phenomenal. So I'm looking forward. Hopefully we can catch up with Coach Van Neal soon. That would be very, very awesome. But yeah, so anywho, you guys have a most phenomenal rest of your Thirsty Thursday. Hopefully we quench some of that Sun Devil thirst. Truly never all of it, because we always want more, because again, Sun Devil Nation, guys, come on. You know this. I know you know this. But yeah, so I will see you tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, as you guys know. Again, thanks to reigning Big 12 champs. Speaking of volleyball, the women's volleyball team, #OurState. That's right, #OurState. It'll be that this weekend in baseball too. And yes, you guys know it. Have a wonderful, phenomenal day. But as always, Forks Up.
I went to Arizona State. Right. I'm a Sun Devil, man.
The 27-yard line. That's a great call, too. Play fake. Funnel will put it up. Throws over the middle. Touchdown. Great play.
That's away. Trying to center off with Eckerly, and he just missed the net. O'Reilly with the shot. Far down. He scored.
From behind for a month. Now with the lead, they're getting a little wobbly. But a down!